I do want to change things, you guys. That's the only song I'm going to play tonight. By the way, I think I only have like 3 songs that I've written. Have y'all heard that song I've done? It's called If You've Got a Ballsack. I originally wrote it about Nick Fuentes, but I think I actually wrote it about myself. I'm not saying that to backpedal, I'm saying that because that's typically true. You might have somebody in mind when you write something, but then you realize, oh shit, this is actually about me. There's probably coffee grounds in this, but that's okay. That's okay, you know why that's okay? Because we're Trashville. We're Trashville, baby! That's why, like, I would never, hold on a second. I would never, like, associate myself with any political figure. I would never associate myself, I mean, well, actually I take that back, because there were plenty of videos where I was wearing a MAGA hat and I had a Trump flag behind me. But, you know, like, I wouldn't, like, go out to a protest rally or something. Like, I was debating doing that during the whole, like, Stop the Steal madness. And, you know, I didn't do that, because they were doing that in Nashville. And I don't know, something didn't sit well with me. So it's like I knew that there was something happening and that people were probably going to get fucked over if they... And not just because they supported Trump, but because of like the climate, the political climate, and the direction that everything's going, and just the ways that media and technology and politicians can just manipulate everything. So that's why I didn't go. But also I'm not that like crazy about Donald Trump that I was just gonna like stand outside in the cold and like demand that he, you know, remain the president, even though it's really obvious what happened. But it's like, I think that he's kind of like the final straw that they're grasping because they really see the country as like hopeless without him. And I get that, but I also don't think that he could fix it. Like, I think it's like way too complicated. Like, we got major problems that have existed for a long time in this country. And while he's aware of those problems, and he might claim that he's trying to fix them, and I'm not saying that he is or he isn't, but like, I don't believe what they're saying. It's too easy for them to control everything, and it's just better, like, to just stay out of it. I know that sounds kind of lame, like I'm not being loyal to him or whatever, but I don't know why people want to stay in politics. It's just such a dead end. But like, I did write that song about Nick, though, initially. But, yeah, so I wrote that song. I'm trying to think of what other songs I've written. Like really short songs that I just happen to memorize. But everything else I just kind of do on the spot. But, yeah, I mean, there's certain things, like there's certain phrases that like stick out to me, or like certain things that rhyme, like that I'll remember. But it's not, I'm not doing it in like a concise, organized way. So, oh yeah, I'm just gonna put something in this coffee because it's way too hot. Clouds in my coffee, clouds in my coffee. You guys know what song that's from? Probably one of the stupidest songs ever written. You're So Vain by Carly Simon. I don't know if she actually wrote the song. I should look that up too. But yeah, it strikes me as odd that like people have so much faith in politicians that don't like ever like make this country better, you know? It's like, it's not necessarily their fault though, because it's like when oligarchs are being controlled by technocrats, and then you look at the society that they're governing, you look at the society, you look at the massive amount of people that just like buy these really shitty products that control them and change their brain chemistry and change the way that they operate on a daily basis, then it's like, it really is society. It really is the people that control things more than everybody else. But they just rely on the masses to be dumb and to not realize what's actually going on. Which, you know, they can fucking do that. As we've seen. You know, this is all that people do these days. So I would say that all those people are pretty easy to control, wouldn't you say? You know, I'm not saying that because I want to say that. And I'm not saying that so that I can feel superior to people that have a smartphone, which is pretty much everybody. I mean, it's kind of obvious that if you have the internet on you all the time, you're probably eventually going to use it for dumb shit. You know? And then there's more and more dumb shit that's being pushed on you all the time. So whether it's the advertisements or it's the media that's trying to push like certain things on you, like the jab, or you know, you need to get tested for you know what, or do you have cancer? Do you think you have cancer? You know, you might, considering all the stuff you believe in that you don't question, but there's just all these like obstacles constantly being hurled at you, and instead of trying to dodge those obstacles, people just kind of go along with it. They're like, okay, I'll buy this product. And I'm not saying all people, and I'm not saying that like, you know, there isn't any kind of potential for people to develop self-awareness and like understand that they have way too strong a dependency on certain things. But I just don't see it happening. You know, I was reading about smartphone dependence and like, I forgot the exact percentage, but it was like a really high number though. Like it was like in the 80s or 90s, where it was like a very high percentage of people that have tried to limit their screen time failed. So, I mean, but that makes sense though if you look at everybody else in society, and that also makes sense why everybody's so overweight, and that makes sense why people are having so much sex out of wedlock, and why people watch pornography. You know, all of it's for the same exact reason. People are lazy and everybody else is lazy too. You know? So, it's like, you can't look to society to be like a beacon of hope or a beacon of light or like some sort of shining example of like what you want to do, you know? And I've just never understood that. Because it's not just the higher ups that they trust. It's not just the education, the education system that they trust, or doctors that they trust, psychiatrists that they trust. It's like they trust society. It's like kids that are susceptible to like doing whatever's cool. It's like, why do these people get to be the arbiters of what's cool? Why do these people get to be the arbiters of what's right and wrong? You know? I guess it's just I'm inherently skeptical about society and everything really. But that's because of God. That's because of like, you know, God putting that in me. And I'm really grateful for it. Even though it pisses off a lot of sheep. I'm glad it pissed you off, honey. I'm sure you're not even here.